3 years ago, I lie in bed, awake at night, when I took this note on my phone. If you want to go to space, you have to leave Earth behind. And it was that very same period, not long after that night, that I made the decision to leave the company that I and one of my best friends had built over a period of 15 years. It was a company that allowed me to buy my first home, my first and second and third car, pay for my groceries, my entire life. But of course, the company wasn't just a paycheck, it was the place that I would go to every day, or almost every day, happily, to work with people, talented people, that I genuinely enjoyed hanging out with, but also fun and challenging clients. We worked from a beautiful office, an old art gallery, and all this while making a profit. But I left. And to the outside world, this must have seemed like a leap of faith, a weird thing to do, reckless maybe even. But to me, it didn't feel like that at all. Because I had a secret weapon. And today I want to share that secret weapon with you because I believe that it can help many of us overcome obstacles and challenges, but even more boldly, I think it can help us achieve our dreams. Now, before I unveil the weapon, I want to talk about dreams for a little bit. You probably all know these videos on the internet of old people, and they are asked if they have any advice for younger generations, if they have any things they wish they would have done differently. And almost all of them, they answer the same. They gave the same kind of answer. They say that they regret the things that they didn't do, that they regret not taking chances sometimes, that they wish they would have chased their dreams. So I want to talk about dreams for a little bit. Dreams are odd. I mean, everyone has them, but we only seem to have one or two at most. It's almost as if we have limited mental capacity for dreams, like we have one or two slots, and that's it. And when they're full, they are full. This is an important point that I will return to in a little bit. Another strange thing about our dreams is that even though all of us have them, most of us don't seem able to achieve them. I mean, look around you, people you know closely, how many of them would you say are living their dream? And this is weird to me. So I thought about this a lot, and I think there are two main reasons why we fail to achieve our dreams. I think the first reason is that we at some point collectively agreed that dreams by definition have to be very grandiose, that they have to be almost unattainable. The sky is the limit, shoot for the moon and all that. We tell ourselves and sadly our children that as long as you believe in something, anything is possible. Well, I think that's nonsense. I mean, the world around us, it doesn't have enough space for everyone to live their dream, and again, statistics show this. Very few people manage to live their dream. So reason number one why we can't make them happen is because they are unrealistic. We set our expectations too high. But I think reason number two is much more interesting because it's something that we can act on today, immediately. The second reason why we fail to achieve our dreams is because we lie to each other and ourselves. Because when we talk about our dreams, which is something we love doing, when we talk about them, we tend to talk only about the outline, the silhouette of the dream. And we conveniently refrain from coloring in the entire picture because deep down, we know that we aren't willing to make the sacrifices required to achieve that dream. Again, if you want to go to space, you have to leave Earth behind. If you want to go on an adventure, you first have to leave your cozy and secure home. So if you want to start your own business, or in my case, leave your own business, then this will come at the cost of financial security. If you want to live in a different country or move to your favorite city halfway across the world, then you're going to have to accept that friends and family will be very far away. And if you finally publish your book or share your art with the world, then perhaps there will be negative feedback, or worse even, perhaps you will find out that nobody cares. So the pain and the fear that we have for chasing our dreams is very reasonable. It makes total sense. And to make matters worse, the sacrifices we have to make, they come first. So we have to give something up without knowing if we're ever going to get anything in return. And that's why we tend to stick to the outline, the silhouette, the romanticized version of something that we will probably never achieve. Now, this is a problem, at least to me, because like I talked about earlier, we only seem to have 1 or 2 slots for big dreams in our minds. And if we allow ourselves to fill those up with things we're never going to do, then there are entire parts of our lives, potential pathways that we never get to explore. So in 20, 30, or 50 years, maybe we too will be interviewed, and maybe we too will give the same answer, that we regret the things we didn't do, that we regret not chasing after our dreams. And that's where my secret weapon comes in. I call it the arrow of action. And the goal of the arrow of action is to map our dreams, to color in the entire picture. And this has 2 potential outcomes, both of which are beneficial. The first potential outcome is, even though it may sound sad, but that the dream dies. We have to say goodbye to it, but this frees up one of those mental slots. And over time, probably not the same day or week, maybe in a year or 2, something new will grow there. And that new dream might be something that is actually in the cards for us, something that we can actually achieve. But of course, the more desirable outcome is that we map our dream and we give ourselves a roadmap, almost a to-do list, something that we can start working on that very moment. It isn't called the arrow of action for no reason. So let's look at it. It's very simple. You start with a blank sheet of paper. And on the right-hand side of that sheet of paper, you will write down in the first person your dream. I will run the Boston Marathon, for instance. On the other side of the paper, you will write down the current state, how far you are away from the dream. You connect them by the arrow of action, and these 2 points are you always know them. You always know your desired state, and you always know how far you removed are from that. Now, the next step is very simple to most of us, because now above the arrow of action, we will write down every excuse, every obstacle, every challenge we have that explains why we haven't achieved that dream yet. No time to train, can't afford traveling to Boston, I don't have enough vacation days, stuff like that. These can be 3 or 4 obstacles, or maybe 40. You just get them all out there. And for the 4th, and potentially final step already of the arrow of action, you have to do a little role-playing. We all have that one friend, or maybe an uncle, who is naively optimistic, overly practical, and they tend to come up with, why don't you just type of solutions. And we don't like hearing about why don't you just solutions because they make too much sense. And often, when we talk about the things that we struggle with, we just want someone to say, yes, I understand, and let you go along with it. But today, in this exercise, we need the why don't you just solutions. You will write all of them down for every obstacle that you have. This can be 1 or 2 or 3, it doesn't matter. You write them down. For instance, if you don't have time to train, you can get up an hour early, or you can stop playing video games. If you need the money, you can start saving money. And if you don't have any vacation days left, well, you can just cancel your holiday or quit your job. Now, at this point, oftentimes you will already be done with the arrow of action, because many times you will realize that the dream just isn't going to happen. You know damn well that you're not going to get up an hour early, or that you can't save this kind of money. And that's fine. Again, this is then where the dream dies, which will free up mental space for something new over time. But of course, what we want is we want to achieve our dreams. So if you are still on board with your idea, then at this point you can sort of go to the final phase of the arrow of action. You might notice that the relationship between the desired state and the current state is very similar to the relationship between the obstacle and the solution. So for every pair of obstacles and why don't you just solutions, you can sort of start the arrow of action over again. You can write the obstacle on one end and the solution on the other end. And you can go through the same motions, write down all the new obstacles, why you haven't achieved this yet, and all the solutions again. And by doing it this way, you can map the entire dream, and maybe it'll take you 1 or 2 sheets of paper, maybe it'll take you 12. All you have to remember is the structure, current state, desired state, obstacles, and solutions. If you have mapped your entire dream and you're still on board, you can pick out the things that you are going to change immediately. You can literally start that very day, setting real steps in the direction of your dream. Now, I'm convinced all of you have access to pen and paper. So the only thing you need to do this tomorrow is a dream and a little bit of courage. Good luck.